Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian indices, and it's the 17th of December. So looking at the ASX here, we've been tracking from I've got the top here, so we've got 5 waves down for wave A here and wave B, and looking for 5 waves down for wave C, pretty close towards the 5,000 area here. There could be a bigger bear market within all of this as well, but in purposes of just trading, we're looking at trading what we understand, and we can see that we are getting basically corrective patterns to the upside, and we're getting impulse waves to the downside, so we're tracking that. So yeah, so this level here, the 5,500, 5 being the second strongest number in the market, could create extra support coming here. We've seen support once and we should see it again. But the main point here is that we're in a wave structure from 2 to 3 here, and wave 3s are normally the sort of longest and the strongest. So it might just sort of be a hot knife through butter coming through this particular number through here. But let's go in and have a little look. We'll be looking at 5 waves between wave 2 and wave 3 here. So we'll go to the 4-hour chart and pick up that. So from wave 2 here in blue, we're looking at well, wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and then down for 1 and back for 2 here again. So we're looking for 5 waves in this little structure here. So we've pretty much got those 5 waves coming into play. So we'll see this, the banks will of course bring this down lower through here, but we're going to get support somewhere off this old low or just in here. We'll take a closer look in a moment. And we don't need this one here. And then we'll be looking at a corrective pattern for here, and then down for 3, 4 and 5 coming into this space here. So I'll just save that. We'll go onto the hourly chart and we'll just focus in on this little bit here. We'll also have a look at Commonwealth Bank as well, because it's it's part of the picture. So on the 1-hour chart here, just give me a moment to pull this into perspective a little bit, and so we can see it, all these lines on here. So we've got wave 1 down here, and we've got an A and a B and a C for wave 2, so at the 61.8% retracement level, so that came in nicely. And then we're looking at 5 waves down here. So I think we've got wave 1 here, which is quite clear, wave 2 here, and it's a little bit messy in here. This got wave 3 here and wave 4 here, so we're looking for wave 5 to finish. So these supports areas down here, the 5,550 could be the support area here. I'm not too fussed about this. What I'm really looking for is the market to complete the 5 wave structure and also find support and complete that 5-way structure, and then looking at the bounce here. So it's this bounce that that really interests me. So wherever this comes up here, we're looking for an A wave, a B wave and a C wave. Yeah, and we'll be able to work out where that 50-60% is. But when the market comes back up, this block here will be resistance, and then we've got the next block right through here as well. So we'll work out where that 50-60% is. But the main point here is that we can actually look to start shorting this on this rally here now. So if I can put that, configure that, and we'll just put that box into green. So when it's in green, it's a bit of a shorting opportunity, and this will come into play here as well. So we'll be able to work the ABC pattern across here to look to short here. Now if you're short already through here, then you'll either need to take profit after today, or keep the stop out of the way. So it's probably good, depending if you've over traded or not, and depends on the style of trading as well. I mean, everybody's trading different well, they call them time frames, but I like to call them degrees of structure. So it's just easier if you know what degree of structure that you're trading, because you can manage the situation better rather than time frames. So look, that's pretty much where we're looking at the moment with all of this. So let's go and have a look at CBA here. So with CBA here, we've been working this bounce, as you know, here as an A and a B and a C into this space here. We know wave fours can get complicated, so this could get more complicated as well. But I think it's looking quite good. Because the move down from wave 4 here down through here is in 5 waves to the 61.8% mark, and then we were looking at the rally coming back into the 61.8% mark, and that's good. And now we're looking at our first little next 5 wave structure down through here, and then back here for wave 2 here. So I'll go to the tick chart now. So it's probably likely that we're going to be making new lows here now. So I'm looking at this 5-wave structure moving lower through here, and this is where we really need to be looking to be short, especially on this second retrace here. And because this is in the third of the third, it may not pull all the way back to the 50-60% retracement level. If we look at the tick chart here, this is 100 ticks. So I'm looking at this here. We've got this little ABC for wave 2 here, and this little move down through here. I think that we can expect a bounce back off the 68 here, and then it may even go through that because the markets are pretty weak, and then we'll be looking for this little guy here. So this is really the one that we want to short, but like I mentioned, it may not come all the way back to where we're thinking. So it does like to cover its gaps, this market. So you can see it tried to cover its gap here. This gap here has been covered. So CBA does like to cover its gaps. It's not to say that it doesn't have to cover it on this particular bounce or anything, but we'll be mindful of that. So any stops, if you're in short here at the moment, they really need to be above here. So if I just go back to the hourly chart, I want to try and keep trades on the hourly chart for the indices and so on. So we'll just put this in here, and oops, we've got that. Oh no, we'll copy that one. We'll probably short this today anyway. So we need that up there somewhere. We just need it out of the way. That's all. And there will probably be support here. So yeah, we'll just leave that there for the time being. Okay, let's move on to the rest of Asia. So starting with China here on the 4-hour chart, we've been working a triangle pattern for this particular market here. So from wave 3 over here, we've been looking at this as an A wave here, a B wave here, a C wave here, a D wave here, and an E wave here. It's also possible that that I've counted this pattern wrong, and if that's the case, then lining it up with the rest of the world, then this wave D would be wave 1 and this would be wave 2 here. So that means that we've already started our move down, but it doesn't really make any difference for all of this as well at this stage. So what we've got here is a corrective pattern to the upside, and we've nearly got 5 waves to the downside here. So once that 5 waves is completed, then we'll get a bounce, and then we'll move down again here. So on the 1-hour chart here, was looking at this here being, if I can just draw this out a bit here, so I'll just label it out here actually. So I'll just move this here to wave 1 and 2. You can start to see that fall into place there, and wave 5 here. And do we have, yes, we've got some over here. We'll be looking for a little A B and C wave back up here. We can look at this being wave 1 here, wave 2 here. We'll just move these over here now. So with this here, we can look at, let's look at this around here to here. I've got this upside down, but it doesn't really matter. We can just use the 38 and the 50. So this is where we'll be coming back to roughly here. So we can also look to short that. But we'll get that. We'll get that in a. Once we got these 5 waves in, then we can look at that. So what we'll do here is we'll just get this out of the way a bit. So I'm thinking if this comes down to roughly the 9 here, maybe not come all that way down, but and then look for the A, the B, and the C wave into here, and then down from that point. So we can put this across from the low to the B wave here. Something like this anyway, we'll be close there. It's quite a clear sort of pattern, but we'll adjust that when we get to it, okay? So it's not like a big deal at this stage. I mean, once again, if you want to short this again, then you need to leave the stop out of the way because, yeah, well, you know, you'll be exposed. Okay, and Hong Kong's much the same, but with Hong Kong, we've got wave 1 in play already as such. So I'm just going to grab that wave 1 here and copy that, put that here. Like I said, it doesn't really matter right now for this, but it's just good to keep all the counts on the table until we can eliminate them one by one. So we're looking at Hong Kong next. So with Hong Kong, we've got wave 3 down here. We didn't get a triangle pattern. We've got this A, B, and 5 waves up for the C wave of wave 4, and then wave 1 and back for wave 2. And once again, we're looking for the same thing here as well. We've only got 3 waves down to here, so this will be 4 and 5 here. So we're looking for that 5 waves down, and then we're looking for the bounce. So on the hourly chart here, looking for the setup. You may be short already, and that's fine. So copy that and put that over there. We can also look at we still need the low to come into place here, this one to come into play here. So we'll take that on the 8. That can be adjusted somewhat shortly, and then we're looking at this space here. Configure that. I'm going to use that space as a shorting opportunity, and the reason for that is because we'll have 5 wave. If we get this move down through here, then we'll have a very clear 5 wave structure to this point. So that means if we get 5 waves in the opposite direction from this move, then we're going to get another 5 here. So and once again, because we're in the third of the third here, it may not pull all the way back as expected. So what you really need to look for is this last leg here. You need to look for 5 waves on that. So I definitely drill into some of the tick charts to have a look at that. But we'll adjust that accordingly shortly. And much the same for Japan as well. This may not be the case here for this. This also, if I can copy this here, can be a wave B here, coming down for wave C. But for trading purposes, it doesn't really matter. We're on the right track here. We want to trade this down here. So we want this first 5 waves here to complete, and then this pullback in here. And we want to trade the third of the third here, which will take us down below this 20,000 major trading level 2. So we're in group 1 here. And I think one of the things that I can just point out here with group 1, which is just 1, 2, and 3 here, I find that when a market has been moving down into group 1 and the pivot here, the 2, within group one becomes the retested resistance, then the market can be pulled down to here. So it's quite a good example of the market coming down. It's been vibrating sideways through here, but we can see now at the 2 here it's been retested as the resistance. So that's confirming the resistance, and we can use the Elliott wave structure to help us with the direction too. But it's just good to know what number 2 is good for on the downside, and the upside is a different story. But yeah, they're just numbers, and they've got jobs to do. So on the hourly chart here, it will also be much the same as well. So in this case here, this is a little bit weaker because this 5th wave, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, but we're going to get support down here somewhere. So we're going to watch for that bounce, and then we can look to short. Okay, so same here as well. And India is different. So India's one of been the strongest bullish market. So it actually hasn't finished its structure to the upside. But that said here, we've got wave 1, 2, 3, ABC for 4 here, and wave 5 may be a little bit short. I mean, here I can count 1 and 2 and 3 and probably 4 and 5, another little high to go in here before this finishes off here. Look, I think we can actually just, no, I was looking for the 5 waves down, we'll look for that, but I think we can also look to short this here. I've got this under here as such, so yeah. But the other point here is that this is all of group 2 here. So 65, 72 and 80 here. So if the 72 becomes the retested resistance, the 720 in this case, if that becomes the retested resistance, then you can look to short that as well. So I'll put that under there. And you can also short the 65 here, and you can also short this under here as well, once that becomes the resistance. So these numbers here are really important to understand. Once this market has found group 2 here as the resistance, then the whole trend to the upside is completed, and we'll be looking forward to the downside at that point. But building into the trade to accommodate the risk in small chunks is the way to go. Okay, well that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.